on chapter 7. Now, for the case of exam, we need to master 4 rules. Very, very important. Out of that 4 rules, we'll be using 3 in this class this morning. So the other one, which is the last one, will be added together when we want to write the exam. But I'll still talk about it. Rule number 1 is to understand the given scenario. This is the question. Our ability to read through this scenario and understand it very well, twist it, rewind it, reshape it in our brain, we save it, and put all the pieces together, put them down, understand the scenario bit by bit, what the question is talking about, the company involved, how did they narrate the issues, when did the issue start from, and what is, most importantly, what is your role there, and why this question was channeled to you. We need to understand that scenario on those factors. What happened to the company? When does the company start operation? Their mode of operation, what went wrong, and why did they need you as a practitioner to step in to provide professional judgment or advice on the issue they highlighted in the scenario. So your ability to understand the scenario will give you edge over everything, and it will open your mind wide and guide you through on step number 2. Please, are we following? You can see that I'm not rushing. I take it bit by bit. Are we following? Do we understand, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed, please? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, rule number 2 is to understand the requirement. You see this scenario from Adedeji and partner to Roman figure G. That one goes with our rule number 1. So rule number 2, of course, we start from the requirement here, which is from this requirement A to E. What does it stand for? We need to understand the given requirement by reading the requirement very well and thoroughly, and try to link the requirement to the scenario that we read over and over before. So your ability to understand the requirement plus the scenario in rule number 1 will now be added together and give you a good eye opener to what you are going to write. Don't get me wrong. I said if you understand the scenario very well, which is rule number 1, you also need to understand the requirement. What does the question require me to do? How does this company need my professional advice, professional judgment? Everything will be streamlined in the requirement. So, rule number 3. By joining rule number 2 and 1 together, it will give you this rest of mind that, oh, I think they are talking about the planning, audit planning. So in your head, you will now be thinking, what does audit planning say? And how can I link the meaning of audit planning to this scenario? So by understanding rule number 1 and rule number 2, then it comes to rule number 3, which is very, very important. It is our ability to link whatever we program in our brain that we want to write, our ability to link that answer to the scenario. We all know that they are talking about audit planning here, the planning phase and the like. Which company involved? The company, the client company, and my audit firm. What are they expecting us to provide for them? So, and you have to channel in your brain that anything you'll be writing regarding to this scenario, you must link your answer to the scenario. That is, the answer you are providing the answer in relation to the scenario established. So by that, you see something, you just have peace of mind in your mind that, oh, with this 15 minutes that I'm able to shape this question, I understand the scenario, I understand the requirement, and in your head you have already think that anything that I'll be writing, I must try and link it to the scenario. Then something will come to your mind that, oh, you have this peace of mind that, oh, this question, I'm going to treat your focus. Then lastly, which is rule number 4, that will be important for you the day you are writing the exam, is your time management. Ability to master your time and share your time in each of the questions you will be attempting. 7 questions you have to answer 5, and you have 3 hours. So number 1 carry 30 marks. In my own way, I don't start number 1 first. I will see question that will be more easy for me to attempt, which is especially from section C, 15-mark question. So the question we solved in the class yesterday, in the general class yesterday, was actually 15-mark question. Was it 15 or 20 mark? I can't remember. But I will scan through all the whole questions. I see the one that I can actually answer first, that I know that I can give me more, that will not stress me too much. I'm going to start by it, and I time myself. This one within 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max, I'm done with it. Out of 3 hours, I use 20 minutes to answer one question, 20 minutes to answer another question. That's 40 minutes. Making I'm looking at I've answered 2 questions in 40 minutes. The other one now that is a little bit shaky, I'll just channel 1 hour to it. That is 1 hour or 1 hour 10 minutes, which is 35 minutes for each of these two questions. I'm done. Then I have 1 hour left. So you see that 1 hour, I'm going to use the whole 1 hour to write everything that I need to write on that question number 1. Because number 1 can never be straightforward. They must give you leg over there. So you need to be careful that don't waste your time on number 1 first. Start with other one that you know you can write best. So I'm dedicate enough time for that number 1 and write everything you know that comes to your head. And don't forget, always link your answer to the scenario in whatever you want to write. So those are the 4 cardinal rules that can help you to write the exam. And this thing center on how to write. So that's why I said to pass advanced audit and assurance, you need 2 things: what to write and how to write. What to write is a chapter review that I've been doing so far. How to write now has 4 rules. For you to master how to write very well, you have to understand these 4 cardinal rules, and you must be able to apply it on the scenario wisely. Having said this, let us begin. With your permission, can I proceed, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moses, you raise up
Good
your hand. Good
morning,
morning.
sir.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, please. This question 1, is it going to be 40 marks or 30 marks? Because ICANN is trying to confuse somebody here.
Okay.
The syllable, this thing they brought last time, they say it's 30 marks. Now that the study pack is out, I read a place they say it's 40 marks. So I don't really understand. It's a bit confusing.
Yes. I think in which way they want to do it. Most importantly, we saw that, but I think that one applied to skills. I don't know. So I think where the person highlighted that this thing, it is on PSAF. So I consulted one of my friends that is teaching you SBR. So I asked the same question. I think just last week. Yeah, that this is what I saw. But when I go through the study pack, I did not see where they said it's going to be 40 marks. It said the same thing too. But however, we just need to continue our class while we send mail to student affairs to see if they can probably help us and iron the issue. But for now, there's nowhere in any professional study pack, I mean final stage study pack, where they wrote that it is going to be 40 marks for question number 1. Are we clear now, sir? Mr.
Yes,
Moses,
sir.
are we
Yeah,
clear
it's
now?
okay. Very
Okay.
okay, sir.
So Let us begin. Oh God, my network. We need to be very, very careful. And most importantly, we need to always read the scenario to understand deeply what they are trying to say. Please, can I proceed, please, everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is it. This is the wait. Oh, where is Mrs. Edina? I notice I've not been seeing her in class for the past 2 weeks or so. Never mind. I'm going to call her. Let me see. So let us proceed with our class. So while I'm calling her, can someone please help us read through this question? I hope you can see my screen very well, brightly. Can anyone help us to read through this question while I'm messaging her? Hello, any volunteer? Ah, nobody's talking again now. Have I been talking to myself? Please let us be responding in this class so that I will know that I'm not talking to myself.
Okay, sir, we read. Can everyone hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Question number one. Adedeji and partners, a
Your voice
firm
is
of.
breaking. I think it's your network, actually.
Okay. That means I cannot do it too. It's the network.
Okay, so oh yeah, let me just read. I was just looking for this thing. Okay, so let me just read. Adedeji and Partners, a firm of chartered accountants, has recently been appointed as statutory auditor of Prime Harvest Foods Limited, a medium-sized agricultural processing company operating in Nigeria. The company processes and distributes packaged organic food products for both local and export markets. This is the first year of Adedeji and Partner. Something should be telling us that when it is first year, we need to do background check. If you don't forget one of chapter 5 that we read, we said before you can do anything. No, was it chapter? Okay, on chapter 6, we have to get clearance from the previous auditor, if you could remember, whether they are not owing the previous auditor. So that clearance, I think that question is still on one of the pilots here that we are going to treat later. So let us proceed. This is the first year that Adedeji and Partners will audit the company, replacing the previous auditor who had served for over 10 years but cannot seek the appointment. Prime Harvest Foods Limited, financial year end 31st December 24 Jaga Jaga, as the case may be. The audit is scheduled to begin in early February 2025. During the audit planning phase, which is what we need to do on our own, the engagement partner and audit team carried out with management, preliminary meeting with management of who? Preliminary meeting with management with the management for from discussion and review of internal documents. The following matter were noted. Number one. Number one, the company has experienced significant growth in export sales, especially to UK and European markets. Export revenue has increased by 45% compared to the previous year. Don't forget, during our planning phase, we used to do analytical review. I told you the analytical review will give us an instinct to which area we are going to check very well. Yeah, they said their export revenue increased by how many percent? 45% compared to previous years. So what made the revenue to increase? It has to be established in the planning phase that when we get to the field, we need to check where on this what on this aspect of revenue, because they said the revenue increased by what 45%. Please, do we understand? I just try to, as I'll be reading out each of the notes, I'll be twisting it so that in our head we will be we'll be calculating the necessary thing we need to do. Two, the company recently acquired new processing plants in northern Nigeria, which required a bank loan. The loan covenant require company to maintain minimum current ratio and profit margin. So they acquire new processing plants in northern Nigeria, and they want to use the loan to what? To facilitate the to facilitate what? To facilitate the uh the processing plant they want to acquire. So, and the requirement that the company said they must maintain minimum current ratio and profit margin before they can give them loan. So something should be telling you that if the company could not meet the requirement, there is tendency that the company might probably falsify their financial statements up to that requirement before they can acquire the loan. So it's another way. So definitely this question is trying to tell you that there will be a problem later. So, but you find out in the requirement. Let us proceed. I hope you are following me as I'm trying to redirect all these notes. Okay. See, Time Harvest Food Limited uses an in-house inventory system which had issue in the past, especially with timely updating of stock record from the remote locations. Now, they said they uses an in-house inventory system which had issues. Okay, so let's go. Inventory makes up of approximately 40% of total assets. So their inventory make us of 40% of their total assets, meaning that the other assets take 60%. But the inventory take up of what? 40% of the total assets. A physical inventory count is planned for 30th December 20 x, right? The company has invited the audit team to attend. Note that one too. There is a new financial controller appointed only and left no handover note. This is another point to note very well. Their finance controller just resigned without any notice, and they have appointed new one. Why did that one resign without any notice? Finance controller, CFO, Minister of Finance of the organization just resigned without any notice. Something is fishy. Let us proceed. The company intend to revalue its land and building for the first time in 5 years. Valuation experts has been engaged. They want to revalue their assets, their land and building for the first time in 5 years. That's another point to note. Management has expressed interest in obtaining unqualified audit opinion as they are preparing for potential listing on Nigeria exchange. He said the company has expressed their interest that the auditor should give them audit report that does not say that they have any issues on their financial statement. That is what we mean by unqualified audit opinion. That is the opinion that the auditor is going to give should not have any issue. That is, the auditor should not put any issues that, or maybe they encounter any issue, or this is what they find out while viewing the financial statement. They said that they have interest of obtaining an unqualified. We said when something is unqualified, it means that the account is free from material misstatement. So that is the scenario. From the scenario, we understand that the company is an organic organic food products for both local and international markets. Two, the audit firm, this is your first time auditing them, and during the meeting, you note that there is significant increase in revenue by 45% compared to previous year. Two, they said their assets, their inventory occupy 40% of their total assets. Their finance controller just resigned 2 months ago without any prior notice, and they want to revalue their land and building for the first time in 5 years. And also they have interest that you, the auditor, should give them an unqualified audit opinion. That is the genesis of all the scenario. So now let's proceed to the requirement. My dear professional, please, are you following? Are we following, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So let us go. What is the requirement? It said identify and explain 4 key matters that Adedeji and partners should consider when planning the audit. This Prime Harvest Food Limited, the Prime Harvest Food Limited has reached out to Adedeji and Co. to to audit their financial statements rather. So out of all these things that they listed, the question said we should identify and explain four things that we Adedeji
Is it just my network? Because I can't hear him.
I can't even hear him anymore, please. I think
I
it's from
can't
his
hear him
speech.
either.
I
It's from
can't
his
hear him
speech.
either.
I think it's his network.
I'm not hearing you, sir. I'm not hearing you.
I think it's from his network. I don't think it's from. I guess he's working on it.
I'm not hearing him too.
I'm not hearing you, sir. I'm not hearing you.
I think the network is very bad because presently I can't even hear anything you're saying anymore. I don't know if anybody is hearing.
No, I'm not hearing him. Maybe it's from his end.
I think it's from his line. His network is bad. It's not working. Maybe he's working on it. He should just get back to us. Let us know what we belong to presently. Sorry, sir.
hello, sorry. I am so sorry. My data just got exhausted. So that is what we face. Yesterday, 3,000 naira data has finished. Another 3,000 naira now. So that's how we roll. So I'm sorry,
Okay.
I did not notice actually. So
All right. Okay.
please,
No
I
problem.
hope
I understand.
at what point do you stop hearing me?
And
At what point do you stop hearing me, please?
requirement 1A. As requirement 1, stop hearing.
Okay, requirement one.
Yes, A. Point 1.
Okay, so I'm coming. Okay, so we said identify and explain four key matters that Adedeji and partners should consider when planning audit of farm harvest food. It means that out of this thing, we have to identify we have to identify the four key matters that we should put in place when we are planning for the audit of harvest food unlimited. Two, what are the audit risks associated with the loan covenant and how should the audit team respond? That is, they said loan that they will give them loan only if they can meet requirements for particular amount, minimum of profit margin ratio and the like. So, and don't forget that if a company want to get loan and probably they don't need the requirement, they don't meet the requirement, they can do anything. One of the audit risk they say we should associate. Let me give you hint. So if you want to answer this one B, first of all you have to identify the risk associated and how you can respond to it. First of all, one of the risks is there will be risk of material misstatement or this risk of falsification of financial statement because once they falsify the financial statement, they will meet the requirement. So should you respond? You as an audit team, you need to check if the company meets the requirement first. You check if they meet the loan requirement. That's one of the things you need to use to respond because definitely they will falsify if they do not meet the requirement. So we are still coming there. I hope we are following everybody. Can I proceed, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see, they said list three audit procedures the team should perform in relation to revaluation of land and building, just like we want to calculate depreciation. They said, what are the audit checklists for depreciation? First of all, we check the cost of the asset and the value amount. That is one of the procedure. Two, we check for the depreciation. That's one of the procedure. Three, you check whether the valuer, whether it actually have required standard to even value the assets in the first place. These are one of the audit procedure we need to follow, but we are coming there. That's requirement three. Now, requirement four said, why is attending inventory count important and what procedure should the auditor perform during audit count? So, generally, there is always inventory count witnessed by the auditor. You have to, if a company has a lot of stock inventory, so they call maybe once in a year or twice in a year for inventory counting. So auditor will be present. They say at this point, what, why do you need to attend, and what procedure should the auditor perform during counting? While they are counting, you observe, you check the bank card to what they are counting. You check the amount in stock in the bank card to the fiscal count, to the fiscal stock they have. You compare and observe whether they did not count another item instead of the present one they're supposed to count. So these are one of the procedure that the auditor should perform. Then lastly, what ethical considerations should Adedeji and partner keep in mind regarding the client's desire for unqualified opinion? Why? Why do you say the report we will give you must be unqualified audit opinion? And what are the ethical considerations? One of the ethical considerations that in any of the reports we have to give you, we have to follow the rules and regulations guiding the audit engagement and issuing of report. So once you now understand the problem of the company from the scenario, and you understand deeply or one of the area of the requirement, then you can now start. Because this question center on audit planning. But you cannot start anything without giving them what is audit planning and how audit planning can now be expatiate to this different way or different requirements they give us. So it is important for us to give them the meaning of audit planning first of all, and that is where the work starts. I hope we have gone through, we understand the scenario and the requirements, because the next this thing you see now is me sharing the link or the file for the solution that I prepared yesterday. Was it yesterday? That's in Thursday. I think I was able to finish that number one on Thursday. No, she sent it to me. I think it was in the afternoon. Sir. So let us go through it together and see what we can achieve from it. So before I proceed, before I share it, I hope what is going on now?
I'm not hearing you, sir. I'm not hearing.
It's my network. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me. I think my network just threw me out again. I don't know.
And so we can't see your screen. That's why I raised up my hand for over 5 minutes. I can't see
Can
your
you hear me?
Can hear
It's
We
you,
my
can
sir.
hear
network.
you now, but
Yes,
we
I can
cannot
see
see
your
your
screen,
screen.
sir. Okay, screen
But
is
we
not.
could not see your screen.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm trying to say is I hope
Yes.
and I hope that you understand the scenario very well from what we have explained so far from the scenario. I hope we understand very well. Do we understand the scenario? You guys are not talking now. What is going on now?
Can hear you, sir.
We understand, sir.
So please, at every point, I will need you to respond to me first so that we know whether it's my network or your network. I hope we understand the scenario very well and the requirements so that we know the next thing to do.
We
Yes,
understand,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
So the
sir.
next thing, okay. So the next thing I'll be doing now is for me to share the screen for the solution. So I'll share another screen, meaning that the screen for this question will not be shared again. So that's why I'm asking for me to know if I can share the screen for the solution. So of course I need to know if you fully understand the scenario and the requirement properly before I can proceed to the solution. Do we understand very well? Okay. I think someone was trying
Yes,
to
we
raise
do.
your hand before. And Mofe, you raised up your hand before. Is there any issue?
Yes, no. It's clear now. I wasn't seeing your screen, so I wanted to read through the scenario again, but your screen is visible now, so it's okay.
Okay.
Thank
So
you, sir.
let us.
Sir.
All right. So let us see the solution and see what we can do about it. This thing is supposed to try and be showing multiple distance step. If you can share more than two screen. All right. So this is the solution, and this is what we are expected to do. So the reason why I will not be making reference to that question again was because we have substantially explained the meaning of substantially explained the scenario, the requirements, and here we now want to establish the cardinal rule number 3, which is every answer we'll be providing must be linked to the what? To the scenario. Can I proceed, everybody? Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
like I used to say, that before you can do anything, first of all, you check the question very well that one of the requirements talk at audit planning phase. And from the requirement too, they said that what are the things that auditor is going to do at the planning stage, or identify and identify and explain for something at the planning stage or during audit planning. So we assume that we did not the audit planning itself. How does audit planning comes to play, and which standard that talks about audit planning? So if you understand that, you definitely going to know what you are going to uh, what you are going to do. Okay, so as we all know that the chapter, the scenario talks about audit planning. So now it is important to give them the meaning of audit planning. That one will be like a standard preamble with standard foundation on which you are going to lay everything you'll be writing to. So okay, so let us go. See what I wrote. I said to understand the question under review proper. It is, and this is how you are expecting. Really, someone said you not see the screen. Oh, sorry, everybody. Ah, you not see the link for the
The
class here.
screen is showing. Oh,
No, someone just messaged me now that she did not see the link to the class, and she's in the this thing. Okay, so this is how you are expected to write it. That you can see that to understand, and this is how you start your own the answer. To understand the question under review paper, it is important to define the meaning of audit planning in accordance with ISAC 300. So you now station it audit planning. Audit planning can be defined in accordance with ISAC 300 as the process of developing a detailed plan conducting an audit. However, it involves understanding the entity business. Definitely, you try to understand because the business is into what? Production of organic products, abi, both local and international. Right? Are we following? Understand the entity business, identifying the risk associated with the client business, determine the materiality and developing an audit strategies to be adopted to enable the auditor express correct opinion on the financial statement. Then, however, however, the following are the 4 key matter that Adedeji should consider when planning for the audit of Prime Harvest Food Limited. See, with this last one, it has already captivated the marker that, oh, so this is the base, like you have already set a standard, foundation on which you are going to lay your answer on. Because the scenario talks about audit planning, and the marker does not know the meaning of audit planning. And you, by going through and tell them the standard that talks about audit planning, tell them the meaning of audit planning, and you are trying to link your first requirement one, that in spite of the meaning of audit planning, the following are the 4 key. Then 4 key, you are now trying to like linking the meaning of planning to what the requirement one says, that the following are the 4 key matter that Adedeji, which is the audit firm, should consider when planning. Since you have already told the matter the meaning of planning, when planning for the audit of Prime Harvest Limited. So they said 4. So you are the one that will now pick any 4 that you like, and you establish it. So let's see. This is what I said. I said for the first year audit consideration, since it is first year audit for Adedeji, don't forget, in auditing Prime Harvest Food Limited, the audit firm must understand the business environment and their operations. Does not go with the meaning of audit planning that we explained in the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Does it not go with it?
Yes,
So
sir.
can you now see?
Yes, sir.
Can we now see where the how important audit planning is, and how important it is for us to give them the meaning of audit planning? Can you now see the importance like this? Because you can see from the meaning, you are able to provide one of the answer in your requirement one. Can I proceed? Can I proceed,
Yes, sir. I
please?
can proceed.
Okay.
You can proceed,
And
sir.
don't forget they said we should identify any. So the reason why I give it 3 like this, that you can only say one of these. So by giving you like 3 like this, you can pick any of these 3. You know, the exam tension, you might not remember the 3, and because of time. So anyone that comes to your mind, they said, what are the 4 key this thing? So you can just say, since it is their first year of audit, at planning stage, they need to understand the business environment of Prime Harvest Food Limited and their and system operation. Or so you can say, reviewing the opening balance brought forward to ascertain the correctness and accuracy of the balance brought forward. And 3, you can also say, request for prior year financial statement to ascertain the correctness of figure reported. You can pick any of these 3 as one of the first 4 key matter that Adedeji should consider. But most importantly, you have to tell them, since the meaning of audit planning says that it is where the audit firm understand the business environment and mode of operation of that company. So you know we also put it here. So it is advised that you can pick any of these 3 as your one of the first 4 key matter that audit firm should consider while planning for the audit of this particular company in question. Can I proceed, please? Do we understand? Do we understand? Okay. Please, at any point that you don't understand, please let me know. This is how we are going to be treating it when we start treatment of the past question. 2, significant growth in export sales. You know, it's one of the key too. What can we say about it? You know, they highlighted about from 1 to G. So you can pick any of the 4 and explain the 4 key matters there that you think they need to put in place. So 2, don't forget, I said about significant growth in export sales. which is one of the things we need to plan in materiality when we are doing an ethical review. Last year, they made 10 million. This year, they now made 45 million, which is 45% increase in what? In sales revenue from previous year. 45% increase in sales revenue. So it is important to find out what are the things that made this revenue to increase to 45%. So now, this is how to write it. You can just tag it. Significant growth in export sales. So 45% increase in export sales may indicate risk of revenue recognition. Abi, don't forget in IFRS 15, revenue can be recognized when the condition has been ascertained, when the final distance has been met. That is why, don't forget, I used to make example to a 3-story building. The cost to complete a 3-story building awarded to you as a contractor was 300 million. And at the end of financial year, you are able to complete 1-story building costing 100 million. So you cannot recognize the total 300 million as your revenue in that year. So the amount according to IFRS 15 that you can recognize as revenue for that year is what? 100 million. Maybe this company, they have a contract that they now want to go and they now give them a contract to supply export of food or production of organic food for 3 years. They give them in that 2024. So for 3 years, costing 300 million, for example. So maybe they now recognize the whole 300 million in that first year. That is why their revenue increased by 45%. So it is for you to now check that did they recognize this revenue very well before they can ascertain that it is actually 45% increase in that year. So things you need to check. You may need to check that the 45% may be as a result of poor revenue recognition, error, or fraud. Thus, the auditor must review control over international sales, documentation, and foreign currency translation. Foreign currency translation, don't forget they said they have 45% increase in export sales. So it might be due to the way they convert. Don't forget during our SBR, we used to talk about foreign subsidiary. In foreign subsidiary, we are going to use export exchange rate. So whichever company that acquire the subsidiary will convert the money of subsidiary to the functional currency of the parent. Don't forget that. Let's assume that the money is earned in dollar. So maybe it is at the rate of converting the money into naira. They now have excess conversion rate. Then the revenue now increase. So you need to check either review the policies, you review the international sales control, review the control over international sales, the documentation for the export processing, and even foreign currency translation rate to ascertain if that 45% increase in export sales is actually correct. If they've not even if they've not even recognized the revenue poorly, maybe due to mistake or due to fraud, and you must be able to review the international sales document, then also foreign currency translation if they did not translate at wrong rate. So if they translate at wrong rate, there's tendency that their revenue will skyrocketed. So that's one of the things you need to consider, because there's 45% increase in export sales. It might be due to poor revenue recognition. So if it is like that, you need to check the foreign exchange translation rate, you check the documentation, and also review the sales control to find out that, oh, this 45% increase is actually genuine or not. Are we following, everybody? Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Do
You
we
can
have any
proceed, sir.
question?
No, sir, it's well
I hope you are
understood. This
getting it. This is what we are supposed to be writing in the exam. So, it might not be in this condition because we are all relaxed, we are just listening. Then it is like you processing it in your head as fast as you can and put it down in a short while. So let us go proceed. One of the four key matter is inventory system and valuation. Yeah, don't forget, they said they have in-house inventory system, something like that. So, one of the key matter that need to be considered is also the inventory system and valuation. That is, the inventory is a material balance and historically hard system issue. So, attendance at the year end is, they said the company they said the company should the audit firm should attend their inventory counting, this thing, something like that. So it is necessary because inventory system and valuation, auditor need to be there and value their inventory. So inventory is a material balance and historically hard system issue because the company has system issue. So attendance at the year-end inventory count is necessary to verify the existence and access control. Don't forget that they said the in-house inventory system they are using is bad. So that is why they propose for physical counting. So the reason why you auditor should be there is to verify the existence and access control of that inventory, to know that, oh, the inventory actually exists, and to also verify the asset control of that inventory. If they are keeping the proper record the way they're supposed to do it, the bank card is well kept, they use good inventory method, whether it is people they are using or LIFO or average method, as the case may be. So everything needs to be assessed and verified. That is why the audit firm need to attend the year-end inventory count. That is number 3. Then number 4, you don't forget they said identify any fault, and they gave you about 7. They gave us about 7 scenarios that we can pick from. So I just pick random. So this one, which is actually the most simple one that you can quickly talk on. Then the last one, they said the finance controller. Don't forget they said they have new finance controller 2 months ago that the old one resigned without notice. So now, he said the recent change in the finance controller increased the risk of error or poor quality financial reporting due to lack of continuity and knowledge. First of all, you resign without proper handing over, meaning that the person that will assume the position does not even have experience or does not even have any idea about what might be going on in the company before. So this thing will pose the risk of error or poor quality financial reporting because the person will just have to start his own idea all over again. Instead of someone must have briefed him, this is the condition, this is the way we used to do it, this is how we are expected to do this thing. Nobody to give him orientation. So the person will just be doing it on his own the way he understands and without following the existing protocols. So there will be probably an increase in the risk of error or poor quality financial reporting due to what? Lack of continuity and knowledge. That you are able to substantiate the 8 mark. It might not be as thorough as this. So you just think, okay, this one quickly write. Maybe it's that first one. Since it's their first year, they need to review. They need to understand the current business environment and this one, and also ascertain the correctness of balance goes forward. So you go on the significant growth. It might be due to risk of poor revenue recognition, and auditor must review the sales documentation and foreign currency translation. You are good to go. Inventory. Then the auditor needs to attend the end of the year inventory count to verify the existence and access the control to the inventory. Then last one, there will be poor increase in risk of error or poor quality financial reporting due to lack of continuity and knowledge that you are able to, in the exam, it will be programmed fast in your head like that, and you have to write it down the way You are just remembering it so that you will not leave any space untouched. So, but it is stored like this in very cool condition. That is why I put it down like this. And in my own way, this is the way I will write it in my exam. Because since I understand the scenario, 10-15 minutes I'm done with the scenario and the requirements. I will start firing down, I will start writing everything I know. But I'll be answering it in relation to the required question and provide solution to it. Can I proceed, please? I hope we understand. Hello, everybody. Any question before I proceed? Any question? Any question, please? Okay, so let us go
No
to
question.
number 2. Okay, the requirement number 2, let me see. The requirement number 2 says that what are the audit risks associated with the loan covenant and how should audit team respond? Don't forget, in one of the this thing, they said the company recently acquired a new processing plant in northern Nigeria, which required a bank loan. The loan covenant require the company to maintain a minimum current ratio and profit margin. Current ratio meaning that their ability to respond to short-term financial obligation in a short while. Then profit ratio, which is their profit over revenue. So then if they can maintain the minimum of that, then they can give them the loan. So they now ask us that what are the audit risks that will be associated with this company getting the loan? In our head in the exam, we should be processing that the reason why they put this thing here to maintain minimum of this, meaning that the company might not have that capacity to might not meet the requirement of that loan company. So, and if they need the loan by all means, probably they will have to falsify their financial statement. So this question I ask us that what are the audit risks that will be that are associated with the loan and how should audit team respond? That one is 5 marks. So you should think quickly, what are the things? So let's see what we can do. See the way I just put it here. The audit risk associated with the loan covenant and the audit team should respond as follows. That is, if you want to write it, you have to like reiterate the requirement again, that the audit risk. See, I'm trying to provide the answer that the audit risk associated with covenant loan and the audit team respond as follows. One, you can put the table. Yes, but table is more appropriate here. Table is more appropriate. By putting the table is more appropriate, it will open the audit risk and the response. First of all, risk of non-compliance. What is the risk of non-compliance? That is failure. If the company thoroughly now, or you can, first of all, it's risk of material misstatement, but the way I was just writing it. But risk of material misstatement should come first before risk of non-compliance. But let's see the way we see it here. Let's go. Risk of non-compliance, that is, there might be failure to maintain the required current ratio and profit margin result in loan default. That is, if they couldn't meet up the minimum current ratio, I explained the meaning of current ratio, that it is the ratio that shows the ability of an organization to respond to short-term financial obligation. And net profit margin is our gross profit over revenue to get our profit margin. So the failure, that is, there may be risk of failure to maintain required current ratio. And if they couldn't maintain the current ratio and profit margin, it will lead to loan default. They will not be able to pay back their loan as at when due. So what is now the audit response to that? We need to verify the company compliance with loan covenant requirements. Verify the company compliance with loan covenant requirement. Does the company enter that, they will be able to maintain this current ratio and profit margin ratio as at when due, because you are trying to think that this is the requirement from this loan company, and what of if this company cannot meet the requirements on these two things, there will be loan default now. So before then, our response should be, let us see if the company can actually maintain that minimum this thing for that time be. So we have to provide the company compliance with what loan covenant requirements. If they comply that, oh, will be able to meet up with this particular requirement you set for us for our loan, our loan application. That's one of the audit response. Do we understand at all, everybody? Do we understand? Nobody will tell you this, so it's you. Because that is why I said understanding of the scenario and understanding of the requirement will pave a way for you to know what to write very well. Because something will be telling you that they said they want a loan. And the loan company tell them that before we can give you loan, you have to maintain a minimum of current ratio and profit margin. In your head, something you calculate what is current ratio, ability to meet short-term financial obligation, ratio to show their profit margin, which is profit over revenue in percentage. Okay, what if this company are unable to meet this requirement? That is the audit risk now. They will not be able to meet the requirements, and it will lead to a loan default. So audit response, what should we do? Let us check their compliance agreement. Does the company agree in the beginning that, oh, they will be able to meet up with this minimum requirement? So that is the audit response we're supposed to put in that aspect. The second one, definitely this one is even obvious, that there will be risk of material misstatement due to falsification. Let's see, risk of material misstatement. Management may manipulate financial statement to meet covenant loan requirements, which is very, very glaring. I'm sure that one must have come through number one, sir, but I just want to put something together. So, what is the audit response? Assess the financial reporting and disclosure of covenant loan and its impact on the financial statement. Assess the financial statement, whether they manipulate through to. You need to assess it and disclose of the covenant loan and its impact on the financial statement, that if they actually take the loan by manipulation their financial statement, what is the impact on the financial statement? Secondly, review the loan agreement terms. Does the loan agreement say that if they default, will they take over the company, or they seize their property, or they seize their production, this thing, as the case may be? You need to review it to perform analytical procedure to assess whether covenant thresholds are met. So you need to do analytical procedure that the condition they give you, how can you even meet the requirements? Do you have sustainable good current ratio? The current ratio is asset over liability, which must be true to ratio 1. That is, your asset must be more than liability, meaning that current asset over current liability means that the people you are owing must be more than no, the people that is owing you must be more than the people you are owing. So if you collect money from the people that is owing you, and you use more to settle the people you are owing, you still have much more money on ground to settle your short-term financial obligation. So you also need to perform analytical procedure to assess whether covenant thresholds are met. Okay, this you are quickly done, because this is 3 marks. Don't forget too, your requirement of how big you can write also depend on the mark they put. They said 3 marks. So 3 marks, something should be sending signal to you that I'm not expected to write much like that. Just 1 or 2 things that will touch the requirement threshold they gave me, because they just give me 3 marks for this requirement, compared to that first one that we talk about where they give 8 marks. So this is how to weigh your answer. The mark they put actually determine extent to write. But if you know more, you understand that this thing. In fact, if it is 3 marks, you can write a whole page. Because you don't know that a whole page, you don't know where it's going to help you. Can we proceed, please, everybody? Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Is everything going well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's going well.
Okay. So let us go. See. Let us go. See. Let me read the C requirement. for us. They said, list 3 audit procedure the team should perform in relation to revaluation of land and building. The audit checklist, that is, they said, as an auditor, if you want to audit for PPE now, for example, it is under PPE, we have land and building. If you want to audit for PPE, what are the things? What they are telling us here is that what are the things you auditor? What are the things you need to check to conclude that this this amount they reported as PPE is correct? What are the things? So first of all, you need to check. This is it here. The 3 audit procedure the team should perform in relation to evaluation of land and building as follows. 1. Obtain and review the evaluation report. Review the evaluation report that the expert, they said the evaluation will be done by the expert. We need to obtain and review. Ask for the evaluation report and review it to ensure that it is properly documented and supported. That is, they do what they're supposed to do. You obtain and review the report. Among others, there are plenty of things. So, assess the independence and competence of the expert. Does it have independence? That is, any report that the expert is producing, I hope the company cannot influence his decision that maybe you value the asset to be 10 million. I hope the company cannot try to entice that put 20 million there. Why are you putting 10? Put 20 million there. Your independence is at stake there. You need to assess the independence and competence of the expert. After you assess the independence, that the auditor is independent, the expert is independent of the management, then also assess the competence of the expert. Does the expert he even have required duty, care, and skills to do this work? Does he even know what he or she is doing? Does he have the capacity and capability to do the report? You assess that. Number 3, you review the evaluation report, verify the credential and expertise valuation report, which is the same thing. You calculate the depreciation in accordance with IAS 16. Also, you calculate the depreciation, whether the depreciation is well calculated before. So, among others, these are the audit procedure you need to put in place. And in the question, I think this one is also how many marks? That one is also this one is also 3 marks too. This one is also that B is 5 marks. This one is 3 marks. So within the 2 minutes, you're already done with what you want to write here, and you are through with that one seat. So, Mr. Latuji, you have the floor, sir. You raise up your hand.
Morning, sir.
Excuse me. Good morning,
sir. Yeah. Please, sir, I just want to ask this question. As regards this
morning,
procedure for revaluation of this land and building, of course, this is an asset. Now, I can recall last diet or so, I was reading my textbook, and when we are trying to state procedure for assets, I saw something like cave pub, where we have costs, evaluation, presentation, and all these things. Can that be applied to this question, sir?
Yes, you also that cost evaluation that you're talking about, is among the audit things. You need to check the cost of the land as at when they bought it. It's among that you check. It is one of the you obtain and review the evaluation report. That thing you just mentioned now is inside obtain and review the evaluation report. Inside the evaluation report, you will see the cost of the asset as at when they bought it. You see all the elements that they later added to the cost. Maybe they have to pay for the survey fee to survey the land, the valuer fee to value the land before, as at that time they want to buy it. So, all those things will be added together to give us the total cost they reported in the financial statement, sir. I hope you are following, sir.
Yes, sir.
So everything will be in the valuation report. So they must provide it in the valuation report. You see the cost, the total cost of the assets at that time. You see the amount they charge as depreciation. You now see the net value of that asset after the depreciation has been charged. Then you now also see the revalue amount now as at now. What is the worth of that asset? If they bought it 10 million, it is land and building. If they bought it 10 million as at 2020, definitely they are expecting that the land will have appreciated to like 20 or 30 million now. Not that in the valuation report, land does not depreciate. Not that in the valuation report, you are now giving me that it is still 10 million when they revalue it. How? So all those costs, the depreciation will be in the valuation report. So that's where you can check for all those things there. I hope you are following, sir. Mr. Latunji.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope your question
Thank
has
you.
been answered, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Do you
Thank you,
need
sir.
more clarification, sir?
No, it's okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. So these are among others the audit procedure when we want to check for evaluation in relation to evaluation of, in accordance with what to the scenario. So let's go to 1D and see what they ask us to do. The question for 1D says that why is attending the inventory count important? Why is attending the inventory count important, and what procedure should auditor perform during the what during the inventory count? The question there is, why is it important for the auditor to attend the inventory count, and what procedure should the auditor put in place for that inventory count? What procedure? So let's see. If you want to write, you must try and give that preamble that relates to that question. You see, the question is, they said, why is it important to attend the inventory count? So if you want to respond to it, your answer should go like this, that the inventory count attendance important, including what procedure that the auditor should perform during count, are as a result of the following. First of all, you now create, this is 7 mark. The important and the procedure you need to. It's just one important. What is the important? Even because the inventory is the material item, because they said their inventory, according to the question, occupy 40% of their total asset. Do we remember that their inventory occupy 40% of their total assets? So because the inventory is material item, the attendance helps to verify the existence and condition of the stock and evaluate the effectiveness of management counting procedure. So what is now the audit procedure? One, you observe the counting process and ensure procedure are followed. That's one of the things you need to do. You perform tests, counting, and trace the inventory to the sheet. That is the bin card they will give you. They will list the varieties of that stock there. Maybe they are into uh, production of all these cream. Maybe they have lotion, they have wash, they have so. Maybe for long wash now, in the bin card, it is showing 50. Then in the fiscal count, the bin card must tally with the fiscal count. That is, the bin card is the one they have on the system. When they brought the stock like this, they will enter it in the system. It is inside that system. If they sold two, they will remove it. They will remove two from the system, and they will also report out of 50. If they enter 50, they sold two. It remain 48. That is, the system will be showing 48. Then the fiscal will also be showing 48. So as at the time that they want to do the counting, anything that remains in the system, they'll print it out. That is what you see on your bin card. Then everything in the bin card must relate or must be the same thing as the fiscal count. So not that the bin card will, on the system will be showing 10, then the fiscal will be showing 8. So the procedure that auditor need to follow is, one, first of all, you observe the counting process, how they are counting, you observe and ensure that the procedure are followed. Then secondly, you perform test of counting. You also count it by yourself, or they said count it, this one, let me see, count it by yourself and trace to inventory sheet, and that particular stock they are counting, you trace it to the inventory sheet if it's that particular one. Not that you be counting cream lotion, you go and be in the bin card, you're supposed to count cream lotion. In the physical count, you are now counting hair cream. I hope you understand. So these are the procedure that auditor need to put in place. 3, verify any obsolete or damaged stock properly recorded. So anyone that is expired or it is damaged, that is the meaning of obsolete. Obsolete is something that is out of date. It is outdated. So which has expired, you make sure that they accounted for it properly. Obsolete and damaged stock is properly recorded. So you ensure that. Then the final one, you ensure that all locations are covered if stock is held in multiple warehouses. That is, if there are 4 warehouses where they stock all those inventory, you make sure that if you are the only auditor there, you make sure that you visit the 4 warehouse to count the stock. Or if you are 4, you share yourself. One should go to warehouse A, another one should go to warehouse B, another one should go to warehouse C. Or if you are 2, 2 people will be in 2 people will count warehouse A and B, then another 2 people will count warehouse B and C. So that is, so you just ensure that all locations are covered, stock is held in multiple warehouses. So this is among others the procedure that auditor need to follow. These are normal audit checklist for inventory valuation. Any more fair, please, you have the floor. You have the floor, please. You raise up your hand.
Okay, sir. My yes, yes, I raise up my hand. My question is it the auditor that now does physical counting? Is there not a storekeeper that's supposed to do the physical counting? Then when he gives him this record, or I don't know, that's the part that I'm a bit confused. I thought maybe a storekeeper is the one that does the physical count.
Yeah, a storekeeper will be there now, but you as an auditor, you ensure that everything recorded in the system is the same thing they count for you. But you must be there. It's either the storekeeper is storekeeper. This is it. I've been to store counting before I even joined this my current office. So the first stock, there I was working as internal control. This is how we used to do it. If new goods is brought to the warehouse like this, you collect after then or before the standard one. You first of all collect the requisition as the auditor. I want to witness the inventory they supply if it is correct. I will request for the requisition, that is what they used to request for that stock to be brought to the company. If you that request for it, you request for 40 rice, for example, 40 bag of rice, 40 bag of beans, 40 bag of flour. So that is in your requisition. So I'm going to now match the requisition with the physical one they supply. That is the first phase. So if you raise 40, but you need 40, then I must see 40 physical bag of rice, 40 physical bag of beans, 40 physical bag of flour. I may not be the one to count it too, and I might still be the one to count, but as you are counting, I'm counting with you. If you count 1, I count. 2, I count. Like you are counting, I'm using my mind to count it. If at some point I lose count, I'll tell you, please repeat this process again, count again. That is how to record. But so now, they are bringing the goods into the organization. So when you now want to count the other hand, okay, the fiscal, when they supply the goods, they will enter the 40 bag of rice, 40 bag of beans, 40 bag of flour into the system in that organization, meaning that we now have 40 bag of rice in our stock, 40 bag of beans in our stock, 40 bag of flour in our stock. So then I will now work with the storekeeper. So as at the time we want to count, I will tell the storekeeper, please print the inventory sheet for me. The inventory sheet will tell me as at that time how many stock do we have on the system. The system will print for me. Then after printing it, we call it bin card. After stock sheet. Then after that, you now take me. Is the where storekeeper that will take me where they store the product. So the storekeeper can count. I might still count. The storekeeper will be counting. I'll be observing. When you count, okay, now in the bin card, we now have 10 bag of rice left in the system, meaning that I'm expected to see 10 bag of rice physically, whether there is damage inside or expired. Everything that I need to see must be 10. So it is me that will now during count, I will now find out that this one, the bag has loose now. See, the thing is even dropping. So we record it as what? As damage. So put it aside. But counting everything together must be equal to the amount on the system, which is in my bin card. So it's either you count it if it is not much, or the count you observe and you put your record down. Still all the same thing. But most importantly, you must be there to witness the process of counting and do proper recording. Do you understand now? That's why I give you
Yes,
the
sir.
scenario from
Yes, sir.
receiving the goods from the customer to the warehouse and counting the goods as at the year end for physical counting verification. Do we understand now?
Yes, sir, I do. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can I proceed, please? Any
Yes, sir,
other
you can.
question? Okay. Any other question generally? Any other questions? Okay. So let us proceed. Now, the other one. So the last one, which is question number E. Let's see. What did they say? They said, what ethical considerations should Adedeji and partner keep in mind regarding the client desire for unqualified opinion? Let me ask us here. Let me even swipe up this thing so that you will not see. Now, the client ask us that they need an unqualified audit opinion.
Please, can we hear him? I can't hear him. Am I the only one that can't hear him? Hello.
I can't even hear
It just
you.
went off. Just went off now.
It's a general issue then.
Think so.
Meaning that with all this rubbish that they... Can you hear me now, please?
So we could not hear you for
We
like
could not at some
1
point.
minute. At some points, we were not hearing you.
Okay, but you heard me when I explained this. When I just finished explaining to her the process of stock counting, verification, and witnessing,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
we
We
had us.
could
And I
hear
want to
you.
read. Okay, and I want to read the requirement for the last part, which is question number E, 1E. 1E says that what ethical considerations should Adedeji and partner keep in mind regarding the client's desire for unqualified opinion? Meaning that the client said that, oh, they want unqualified opinion. And I said, with all these uh, issues highlighted in the scenario, where they have 40% increase in export sales, and we have established that they're probably due to error, and their finance controller resigned, and the new person does not have proper orientation on how the work is going to be done. And they said they still want, and their inventory, in-house inventory, this thing they are using had issue. They need to establish that, oh, the stock has to be counted and witnessed by the auditor. But they still said they want loan, and they give them requirement for the loan. So whether they I will suspect that if they want, they could meet this requirement, probably they must have falsified their financial statements and all this one. So in spite of all these things, they still said they want unqualified opinion. So the question is now that what are the ethical considerations that we must keep in mind in relating to auditors desire, client desire for unqualified. What are the things we need to
Network
put in
is
mind as an
breaking.
auditor? It's a general question that
Network is
requires
breaking.
us to answer. Can you hear me? Why is it at the point of me asking question, the network is breaking? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I said, according to the question, let me read again so that we all answer together. Sorry, excuse me. I said, what ethical consideration should Adedeji and partner keep in mind regarding the client's desire for unqualified audit opinion. The client wants audit opinion. So in spite of all the issues narrated in the scenario, the client said they want unqualified audit opinion. So the question now is that what are the ethical requirements we have to put in mind? Because the client says they want unqualified audit opinion. What are the ethical requirements we have to put in mind as an audit firm? And Mofe, you have the floor.
Okay, well, in my best of knowledge, I believe that it's not the management point. It's not their own desire for them to start dictating to the auditor, putting pressure on the auditor to give a unqualified opinion. I know in the agreed upon procedure, the clients can give a procedure that they require the auditor to use, but in as much as they don't giving the auditor a procedure. Sir, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. At some point, your voice is breaking. Yes, go on.
Okay, sir. What I was saying is the management, they are not in the position to start dictating to the auditor or putting pressure on the auditor to give an unqualified opinion. The management don't have that power, in my best of knowledge. Fine, the management can give like maybe an agreed upon procedure in which what you've taught us in chapter 1, where the auditor is giving in agreed upon procedure, the client that is appointing the auditor will give the auditor a procedure that is supposed to follow. But even if the audit is being demanded to follow a procedure, the management cannot now impose an opinion on the auditor. For the fact that they are even giving that, they are even imposing an opinion, it just says that they are trying to. It's like one of the traits to independence. The auditor is not. They're not making the auditor to act dependent on his own parts. So what I just have to advise
what is that? Okay.
What I just have to advise that the auditor should try as much as possible to follow the ethical requirement, which is confidentiality, objectivity, professional skepticism. He has to look thoroughly into their processes, their integrity, objectivity, independence. That's what I have to just say. Because even if they are the ones that they are appointing the auditor, they don't have that power to tell the auditor that they are not imposing that opinion that the auditor gives. That opinion that the auditor gives is an unqualified opinion, and the management don't have that power to start impose. That's my own understanding, but I don't work in an audit firm, so I can't really give.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. Before so you are right. I think the way you started it, yes, you are right. They don't have right to say that this is what we want, irrespective there is agreed upon procedure that they need to follow. But you give me that do this thing. If you tell me to do this thing, the report that I'm going to give on that distance still lies solely on me, not you. Then the way you explain it, you are not directly stating the answer, but at the end you later state the answer, but you did not link it. Okay, now you mentioned one, professional skepticism, meaning that one of the professional skepticism is question of mine that why do you said you need unqualified audit opinion, meaning that so I need to ask you more further question why, and something fishing is under it. Despite all these things analyzed, I said you still want to, meaning that probably there is a fraud that you must have perpetrated that probably I don't get to know, that I need to dig deeply. I need to do extensive substantive testing on some of the transactions to find out that can I actually issue unqualified audit opinion. So one of it is professional skepticism. Yes, the ethical
Yes.
requirement there. One of it is objectivity. You need to be objective that I cannot be unbiased with everything. You only stated it. You did not explain and link it to why it becomes an ethical consideration that I need to put in mind. You see, in some point you are right, but you are not
Yes.
properly linking the reason why you
Linking.
stated that professional skepticism, objectivity. You are, yeah, but that objectivity, your answer is not enough because the objectivity you need to link it. The ethical requirement that I need to be objective, meaning that I must not be unbiased. The client must not tell me this is what to do. My report should be my report. So I must be unbiased. The ethical requirement that I need to put in mind is my objectivity. You cannot tell me what to do. My report must be unbiased. I have to say it the way it is. Then professional skepticism. You said you did not need, you need unqualified audit opinion. Why? I need to do another thorough checking to find out that can I actually issue unqualified audit opinion. My professional skepticism need to come to place. The question to know that I about as ethical requirement, and you must thoroughly link it to the scenario. Do we get it now? Any other opinion? Any other
Yes.
contribution? Grace, you
Yes,
have to
sir.
talk. Grace, oh yeah, Grace, talk. Where is Grace? That one. You did not see me. You did not ask of me. Grace. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Any contribution? Where is Grace? I can hear you. Where are you, sir? Do you want to watch ball?
No, I'm at
Hello, Grace. I cannot hear you.
I'm at home, sir.
You are at home. Okay, oh yeah, go on.
You said it all. You said it all. There's no any other contribution.
And do you know that me and you will fight? You did not see me. You did not ask of me. No, wahala. We'll treat it later, not in the class. Thank you. Okay, so you can mute your mic, Grace. Okay, so yes, thank you. Any other contribution? I think Enimofe has said it all, but I think I've corrected some area that where she did not properly link the requirement very well. But let's see what I have here. Whether I'm even saying the truth, or maybe I'm just trying to. Okay, so let's see. Okay, one of the things is, let's now see that the ethical consideration that should be kept in mind regarding the client desire for an unqualified audit opinion by Adedeji keep are as follows. One, objectivity and independence. Code of ethics. The auditor must remain objective and avoid being influenced by the client expectation. Is that not what we said? That please, you have to be objective. That no, you cannot intimidate me. My report is my report. My report is my report. I have right to my report, and you cannot tell me what to do. So objectivity and independence, which is one of the code of ethics, meaning that the auditor must remain what? Meaning that Adedeji and partner must remain. Mark Dennis, please, mute your mic, please. Can you please? Thank you. That okay. That the auditor must remain objective, meaning that Adedeji and partner must remain objective and avoid being what? Influenced by the client expectation. Two, professional skepticism. That is, the team should maintain a questioning mindset and not assume that the desire for an unqualified audit opinion equates clean record. Is that not what I explained? Number three, the audit opinion integrity. If material misstatement exists, then the firm must modify the opinion regardless the pressure from the client. That is, if the from our review there is material misstatement, then we are going to issue modified opinion or qualified opinion, as the case may be, regardless the pressure from the what? From the client. Then lastly, transparency. Any threat to professional independence or due pressure should be documented and reported internally as part of ethical safeguard. That is where the client, the client is pressuring you. It might lead to intimidation threat that we collect this job from you if you not do what you're supposed to do. Then any threat to independence or undue pressure should be what documented and reported internally as part of ethical safeguard. With this, you have answered everything on audit planning. As regards to, if you want to talk about audit planning, definitely you talk about audit planning, the phase required in planning, what are the things we need to put together in planning, the planning documentation element, and the case may be. But the question does not warrant to go in that way. The question needs you to state your your understanding on audit planning to this given scenario where the company has 45% increase in revenue export rate, where the finance controller report resigned, and the new person there's no orientation as to know what to do. Then when the client wants an unqualified audit opinion despite all the this thing, then when their in-house inventory is not working very well, is not working, and auditor has to step in to be available for fiscal counting, then where the company needs to secure loan, and the requirement for loan is to have a minimum of current ratio and and profit margin. So in spite of this is the issues highlighted in the scenario. So how can you link these issues to that planning? Because they said you are just auditing the company for the first time. So auditing the company for the first time, what are the things you need to put in place in your planning to arrest this issue highlighted in the scenario? And that is what we have substantially did this morning. And this is the way we are expected to answer questions in the exam. So during the exam, we need the 4 cardinal rules to follow. Understand the given scenario, very, very important. Understand the given requirement, very, very important. Your ability to link your answer to the given scenario is very, 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 very important. Then the fourth one is proper time management. And that is what we have for ourselves today. So hopefully next week we'll also treat, maybe we should treat chapter review on chapter 11, and also the following one we should treat another question from the pilot question. At least we are done with question number 1 there, and we have substantially gained something today. So other question, everybody. Any questions generally? I know some people might have joined this class late.
No, sir, I don't have a question. Hello? Am I the only one that can't hear him?
But that's why we have class recording. So I said I tried to stream this class live, probably because of one reason or the other, where we can make reference to, this class recording will take 3 hours before we can have access to it. But I also tried access to it and download the video and read through it before the class recording is available. Just for us, for the people that were not in the class where we started this class this morning. But in one way or the other, you join us along the line and you truly understand. So you have the pilot question, and this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to copy the pilot question. Or actually, I will just send the pilot question. It is this lady that forwarded it to me, Miss Adesua. So she will help us to drop it in the class and in the group rather. So everybody can have access to the pilot question. I think there is an answer there. I can't remember because I only checked the question like that. I can't remember. Yeah. So the pilot question will be shared along with this solution. So let's see
There
what we
was,
can do
sorry,
about
sir,
it
there
and
was the
see how
answers
far we can go.
attached to it.
Okay, so that answer is for us to also try and read together with it and see where we can add some some of our understanding to it and see how we can navigate through from the answer they provided and what we also think that we can add it to it. Because I'm very, very sure they'll put suggested solution. They will not never put solution because nobody knows it all. So this is where we are going to stop for today, everybody. Is there any other question? I hope we gain something today.
Yes, sir, we gained something.
Definitely.
So, yeah, we did a lot.
So any other contribution is welcome. How you think we can fast track our learning to start this past question review? Any suggestion is welcome. What can we do? Because we still have about 6 more chapters to go. So what can we do? Should we just be solving it like this, or we just try and finish the chapter review before we start treating the past question? What is your take on that?
Would you finish
Everybody,
the
not
chapter
just
review first?
only one person.
Would you finish the chapter review first
But
before?
this one that we did this morning, is it not necessary? Does it not help? The reason the reason why I tried to do this one was because we have treated question on chapter 7, which is audit planning. That and this question is on audit planning. That is why I said let us treat this one. But anyways, we'll continue with our normal class review next week. So as soon as we are done, we start reviewing the past question. So may Almighty God help us. So this is where we are going to stop for today, everybody. Thank you for staying through. Thank you for listening. So in
Thank you, sir.
if there is no further question, yeah, if there is no further question, everybody please enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir. God bless you, sir.
Amen. Please help us find Mrs. Eddie now. I've not heard from her for the past 2 this thing now. I don't know what's wrong with her. Let me just